Hi, Gulnara.
Hello.
Hi, I'm Ethan Kolek. I'm a Clinical Associate Professor of Higher Education.
Hello, nice to meet you.
Me too.
Hi, I'm Amy Lee. I'm Associate Professor of Higher Education. It's nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Well, thank you for taking the time to talk with us today. We have 6 or 7 questions for you and want to give you time to ask any questions you have of us. I know you talked to our colleague, Dr. Saunders, earlier in the fall. But some of these questions that we're going to ask might seem duplicative with information you provide in your application. We want to give you an opportunity to be able to elaborate. So to start, can you talk a little bit about why you're interested in a PhD in higher education and why our program in particular?
Okay. First of all, thank you so much for inviting me for the interview. I know how busy you are, and this period of time especially, probably, and I really appreciate this opportunity. Why am I interested in PhD? Probably because I am working in educational field since 2006. Yes, it was my first year of bachelor degree, and I've been working as a tutor, as a teacher. I also I'm still an entrepreneur and running a small business, which is online language center, as well in educational area. And recently, probably 3 years ago, I've decided to go deeper into this area and apply to the master program. And currently, I'm a second-year master student. In April, I'm going to defend my master thesis about the topic is about the experience of and challenges of PhD students abroad. And I think that the PhD is I've always been curious in the area of education, and I believe the PhD it would be the final stage of my professional development, probably, if I can say that like this. And the research, a research environment, like academic environment, while I was doing my master's thesis, was something that encouraged me to apply for PhD, because I like this intellectual discussions with professors about their topic of research, my topic of research, and all these things. So probably because of that, I've decided to apply for PhD program. Why FIU? Because FIU focus on the diversity. It has connection with global education, and when I was thinking about PhD, it was last year in 2024. I was doing the lit review for my thesis, and I found Dr. Robertson and Dr. Bayetova article about peculiarities and paradoxes of neoliberalism in higher education in Kazakhstan. And then I found this article interesting. Then I started to read their other papers, and then I found that this is interesting. And then I decided to send them emails, and they answered. So we had the Zoom call first with Dr. Robertson, and he asked some questions. First, I told him about my research topic and all these things, but then he started to ask other questions, like what do I do, just not connected to education. And then when I could leverage other my things, like I'm doing, for example, I was learning Chinese as well. I like international community and about the entrepreneurship that I experienced, that I have. So then he said that I should apply, that I'm interesting candidate. So then I continued this process of my application. And then I had also Zoom call with Dr. Bayetova. She also shared her experience doing her PhD in FIU. So she said that FIU focuses on the underprivileged group of students. I also found that Dr. Emily papers about the performance-based funding, free college, college affordability. This is something that also interesting because with my team, I mean online language center that I am running a team, we launched this project as well, like supporting admission process, and we're looking for the scholarship for our students. So everything is very matching with everything I'm doing. So that's why.
Great, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for that. My question is, given faculty expertise, if you were to be admitted, are there specific things that you're excited about learning?
Yes. Again, call it these topics about funding, performance-based funding, free college, promise programs. This topic are interesting for me because I see how many talented and hardworking students we have, but there is a lack of information, and I would like to delve into this research as well, because topic of research, because I would like to get the information from this area, and probably continue my paper that I'm doing now about the like motivation and challenges of graduate students doing their studies abroad with their family members, or probably without. I would like to compare the experiences of different groups of students, because during my master thesis, writing this master thesis, I have some limitations because we didn't have enough time to collect data from amount of people. Like, for example, I couldn't collect enough data from male. I did, like, it was qualitative method, so I did interviews, and most of my participants are female, but I know that male and female have different challenges, different motivation, especially if they have families. So probably this topic I would like to do research on, because when I was conducting interviews, I asked for additional interviews for social media to contribute to other people who are not in academia yet, who are interested but they are not yet there. So some of participants, probably 10 of them, agreed, and we did some interviews on social media, YouTube and others. And I got the feedback from people who was watching these interviews. They said that they got lots of useful information from these participants. So probably I would like, maybe I would continue this topic and to do it broadly.
Okay. So I think you kind of answered my question, because you had written about the intersections of technology and education in your personal statement, but then you were talking about the challenges of PhD students. So is there anything else that you are thinking about, like in terms of your curiosity around these problems? Where are you thinking more about what you just described, or more about sort of this broader issue of technology and learning?
Yeah. About technology and learning, I was thinking about writing thesis about technology on my first year of master program. But when I was reading the literature, I realized that there are so many things. Like, it was very difficult for me to narrow the topic, because I wanted to write first about online education, then about AI in education. It's very modern and popular topic right now. And then the director of our master program, he said that probably this topic might be very relevant this period, but who knows, probably it will not be so relevant. So do the research on the topic which is interesting for you, not because it's very popular now and everybody writes about these things. So that's why I've decided to write about the experience of PhD students. Yeah.
Great. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks.
So the next question is, as you know, there will be extensive academic writing in the PhD program. What does the idea of extensive academic writing mean to you, and what do you think it will entail?
The connection was bad, and I've heard, I didn't hear question. Can you please repeat it one more time?
Yeah, what does the idea of extensive academic writing mean to you, and what do you think it will entail?
Mm-hmm. I understand the extensive academic writing as having a time for writing. I don't know, probably it's something about actually it's a difficult question for me because we didn't have courses or something like that on the extensive academic writing, but I understand it like writing some part of work, or probably like that. I don't know if I correctly understood the question, but maybe not.
That's okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I think partly, the writing required is time intensive, lots of rewriting drafts, writing throughout the entirety of being in the program, even when it may not be part of particular course assignments. So want to make sure that you have some understanding of what this might entail.
Yeah. Excuse me. When I was conducting interviews with PhD students, they were sharing that they have something like reading time. So they meet with their group of other students and they do these academic reading things and writing as well. So I understand it like that.
Okay, great. Speaking of reading, can you talk about something you've read recently? It could be an article, a book, something on social media that changed the way you thought about something or caused you to understand something in a new way. So what you read and how your thinking changed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, actually, I have a book and it is here on my table now. I like reading this book, and this one, it's the book of Michelle Obama, Becoming. I like this. I'm still in the process of reading this because I like the way how she's describing her way of becoming a person, like First Lady, and why I think that this book has changed my way of thinking. Like she was a first generation person who got the higher education, and then she became a First Lady. It means that even if now, like I remember that when probably 5 years ago, I didn't expect that I will be talking with academic faculty of Florida International University because I wasn't connected to academic environment at all. But now I'm here, and who knows how it would be in the future. And I think that Florida International University is like, I feel that this is ideal environment for me to explore the issues of international mobility, international education, because of faculty and the university focus.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that you have Michelle Bowman's book. The next question is, how does the PhD in higher education fit with your career plan?
Fit with my career plan. Like I'm on the program now, leadership in higher education, and we read a lot and do lots of work on the research around Kazakhstan. And now, like for example, Minister of Higher Education and Science of Kazakhstan, he comes to our university on campus, and he is telling about our future plans for Kazakhstan and lots of things like that. And in our plan, like by 2030, he introduced us the plan, like here we opening in Kazakhstan different branches of universities like Michigan State University, Arizona University, and many others, and in different cities of Kazakhstan. And Astana is the capital of Kazakhstan. It would be the university hub. This would be the place with most of the other universities, the center of the science and knowledge. And I think that getting the PhD would help me probably to be the connector or provider between Kazakhstan, higher education, and all this development process, and let's say like Florida International University or maybe other universities. But I would like to be in academic environment because I like this environment and I like this. I've had an experience of working as a research assistant, so I like the process of conducting interviews, collecting data. It's something that was the most interesting part for me. So probably this way, but I would like to have the enough knowledge and skills to work in this area, higher education.
Okay. Oh, I have my next question too. Will you be working full-time while completing this degree?
While completing PhD?
Yes, or are you looking for a graduate assistantship?
The financial question is interesting for me as well. I would like to work full-time if it would be possible, because as I understood PhD, it's not only about getting knowledge, but it also about teaching, and I've been teaching for many years. So I mean, I have this experience of teaching because I was working in private school. I worked with like school children. I taught them, and I was working as a tutor. So I have this experience of teaching. So that's why I would like to be involved into the process of research and teaching, and probably if it would be possible to combine, I would like to try. If not, I will choose, if it would be possible, which one is the most interesting or where I can work and be more productive.
Okay. Go ahead, Ethan.
I just want to clarify. So you right now, so do you currently have a visa secured to come to the United States where you could work? Or would you be applying for a student visa?
Yeah, I would like to apply for J1 visa. J1, yeah.
Okay. Because I think, I ask, most of our students who are coming here to study from other countries are limited in being able to work in the United States.
Yeah, I know that I can work 20 hours on campus.
Yeah, so that would be a graduate assistantship for us. So we have a competitive graduate assistantship process, which is 20 hours of work. Okay, that's helpful to clarify.
Yeah, I'm clarifying as well because as I know, there are different types of assistantship, like teaching assistantship, graduate assistantship. Sometimes, as I know, some students could combine, they could teach some hours and do research. So I mean this, if it would be possible.
Yeah, and typically you would be assigned to a faculty member and it would support them in terms of scholarship and teaching. So some of our graduate assistants focus more on supporting research and some focus more on supporting teaching, and that really is something that is dependent on the department need as we go through the assignment process that Amy is in charge of.
Okay, understand.
And sort of a related question, I guess this is not even that related, is what do you believe will be your greatest challenge if you are accepted in this program, and how will you seek to overcome it?
Okay, good question. I think that I didn't have enough practice on statistics, to be honest, and quantitative method of research. And although we had very good trainings, and the professor who did these trainings, who provided us this information about working on Jamova and other platforms, is very good professor. He did it good, but I think the person should practically do this statistics analysis and this quantitative work to understand everything. So I think probably the most challenge for me would be doing quantitative research or some type of statistics, because it's and also probably because I remember the course of statistics. It was a bit hard for me, but I did it well. I got a very good score, although I think probably it would be difficult, but it also interesting.
What questions do you have for us?
Okay. The first question is, what are the most exciting projects you currently have? Probably I couldn't find all the projects on site on the internet. Probably you could share with me what types of exciting projects you have, which might be available for me as well as a student.
Sure. Amy, do you want to go first? Me too.
I don't care. Yeah, I can go first. You're talking about research projects, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah, so I actually recently started a project this month. Me and my colleagues, we got a grant from the Strata Education Foundation. I'm co-PI, and it's about looking at how different governance arrangements in higher education at the state level can impact college affordability. So we're looking at different avenues for which tuition setting authority is determined, how the state policies for financial aid and tuition setting can complement each other, and also looking at how these different arrangements can affect student loan debt and repayment, as well as the net tuition that students pay, after receiving grant aid. That's one project that I recently started. And then this summer, I have a project that's funded by a different foundation, and it's looking at the research evidence use amongst federal policymakers in developing a national college affordability agenda. So those two things that I'm starting to work on. I'm also writing a book proposal currently about a book on finance and higher education. I don't know if you'd be interested in that, but I do have several research projects that if you were my graduate assistant, that you could definitely work on if you're interested. And I currently have a graduate assistant, and she is a co-author on 2 to 3 papers that I'm working on. That's kind of wrapping up a grant that just ended in December. So we're trying to get those manuscripts out the door.
Wow, that's interesting. Very.
Most of my doctoral students work full-time and go to school part-time. So right now I'm working with 3 of them publish out of their dissertations on a variety of topics. And then I will be embarking with an interview study with current part-time doctoral students in education to try to follow them and understand how they're learning how to do research methods as part-time students and how to construct a dissertation in that context.
That's interesting.
Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, very.
So what else are you curious?
What am I curious about?
Yeah, what other questions do you have for us?
Regarding the funding, I have a question. How it usually works for a PhD student? How should I prepare for in case I would?
Yeah, typically our graduate assistants work 20 hours a week, fall, spring, and summer. The stipend this year was $26,500. We expect it to increase for next year, probably not a huge amount, but it will go up. There are some fees that students need to pay, but there is a tuition waiver. Almost all the health insurance is covered, and I think that's most of it. There are opportunities if you're presenting at conferences. We have opportunities to provide some funding support, $750 a year for presenting at conferences. But that's our typical stipend for our graduate assistants.
Okay. And are there any chances to get the fellowships or something like that?
There are. We have a limited number of fellowship opportunities through our University Graduate School and Case Dean's office. Certainly can direct you to those pages if you haven't seen those already.
Thanks. Yeah, it would be interesting to look. Thank you. Let me check if I have some other questions. Are there any, how many PhD students you have, and what type of support PhD students can get from their advisors? As I know, there are advisors who have many PhD students and who have not so many. And what type of support do you usually, like meetings or?
Reproductive and Fertility Center, Dr. Jordadia.
That depends on some of the individual faculty. So typically we enroll cohorts of about 10 students. We've had some that are a little smaller. We have some that'll be occasionally a little larger. We assign students to initial advisors. They're not obligated to stay with that person. Students select chairs in their fourth term. And some faculty want to meet, more often than others. I typically meet with students twice a semester before they are engaged in their dissertation proposal. And then after that, I typically meet with students once every 3 or 4 weeks. Different faculty have different styles in terms of how they engage with students. I typically have a 3 to 4 week turnaround for chapters and things like that. And in terms of support, I know Amy has been able to bring to support some students for conferences. She's a more grant active faculty member. I'm not grant active, so I don't have external funds to help support students. So it's somewhat dependent on the advisor.
Okay, I understand. Thank you.
Welcome. Well, we are about out of time because we've got another interview coming up after you. But thanks so much for meeting with us today. If you've got other questions, feel free to send me an email. And our committee will be deliberating this week. You should hear back from us within probably the end of next week.
Okay. And I will get all the information about the assistantship and all this stuff.
I'll also direct you to those pages, yes.
Yeah, okay. Understand.
Right.
Thank you so much. Thank you. I
You.
appreciate it.
Have a good day.
And you. Thanks. Bye. I don't know. Ну что, в этот раз я не знаю, как я ответила. By the end of the next week. Посмотрим.